Hello and welcome to our Quest for Metal. Today we're doing an amazing list, and one that I'm super excited for because I get to talk about shitloads of albums, and there's shitloads of albums this year that I love, and we're going to count down the top 20 in my humble opinion. Obviously it's not going to be the same as your opinion, so if you write down in the comments below what your top 20 is, or top 10, or if you can't be bothered, top 1, just say some fucking albums in the comments. So yeah, let's get started. Let's get it cracking. I'll probably split this into 2 videos because they're going to be quite long. There's a lot to get through because there's so many goddamn albums this year. So first we're going to go with honourable mentions. And the first one that didn't make the cut is Korn's The Nothing. It is a fun album. It's a great album. It's a great return to form for Korn, I think. A lot of the songs are super enjoyable. Idiosyncrasy is probably my favourite off the album. I really do like that song. So yeah, Korn The Nothing is an honourable mention, I'm afraid. So is... This one is going to trigger everyone, and you might put a dislike already. Devin Townsend's Empath didn't quite make it. I'm afraid. I do love it. It would be like 21, but we only have 20, so I can't quite make it. But it is a fantastic album. So is Within Temptation's Resist. That didn't quite make it. So did Lacuna Coil's Black Anima, which was a fun release as well. Soilwork's Verkenleiten didn't make it. But yeah, there's a lot of amazing albums this year. So many good albums. So many didn't make the cut. Dark Throne's Old Star didn't make the list. I love that album, but it didn't make it because there's so many other good ones. But yeah, let's get started into the actual list. And number 20, which everyone in metal should know, because they are a household name, and it's Slipknot. It's We Are Not Your Kind. And what amazing album this one is. One of the best Slipknot albums I've heard. It's probably my favourite Slipknot album. Now, that'll get me a lot of hate as well. Iowa is absolutely fantastic. Maybe it's just because it's so new, but I love the songs on this one. I think they're absolutely out of this world. Not Long for This World is so different to anything Slipknot's ever done, and it's so proggy, and I fucking love that song. Unsainted is such a cool sing-along song, and Solway Firth is just the best. The best Slipknot song ever fucking made. I love Solway Firth. So intense, so aggressive, and keeps getting more aggressive as you listen to it. Love this album. There's only one misstep on this album, and we talked about it in the album review, but aside from that one song, amazing from start to finish, and I'm happy it's making this top 20 because it's Slipknot. I've been waiting for them to make like an amazing album since Iowa, and Volume 3 was fun. All Hope Is Gone was fun. Grey Chapter was okay, but this pumped it back up. This is an amazing album. I love it, and I'm glad it's on my list, and I'm glad it's number 20. So that's Slipknot. Number 19, we have Dream Theater with Distance Over Time. I love prog, I love Dream Theater, one of my favourite bands of all time. So you're thinking, what the hell are they doing at number 19, and what the hell is after this? This is a great release. A great release from a great band. I much prefer it to the other album, The Astonishing. God, I'm not a big fan of that album. There's too many songs, they're too short, it's too crazy, but this one somehow manages to rein it in. It's a nice track length, and the tracks are actually well thought out and amazing. I really do enjoy them. Paralyzed is a nice fun song. Pale Blue Dot is an amazing longer song. You got S2N is super fun. I just love the bass. The bass in it is so good. Doom doom diddle 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 doom doom. Doom doom diddle diddle, and then it has Owen Wilson, like, wow. So good. So many good songs on this album. There's not a bad song on this album, actually. There's not a bad song on this album. But everything else, I just have listened to a lot more. This album, I listened to it a lot when it came out. Not so much anymore, which is why it's only 19 compared to the rest of these albums. But Dream Theater never fails to disappoint, so it has to make the list. It's Dream Theater, they make good songs, they make fun songs. So here it is at number 19 on my list. At number 18, this is a new addition to the list. I had to move some things around to bump this one in, and that is Mayhem with Damon. Oh, I just did an album review for it. You know I love it. It's black metal. I love black metal. I love Mayhem. And this is a return to form for them. There's so amazing songs on this album. I love the intro, just kicks you right in the teeth straight away, and it doesn't let up throughout the entire thing. The entire thing, there's 10 songs, none of them are bad. None of them are bad. It's black metal at its finest, and there might be some other black metals making the top 20, so you'll have to stay put for that. But this is a fantastic release. I love it to bits. The vocals on it, so demonic. The drumming on it is super intense. Not a dull moment on this album. There isn't. If you're looking for that old school black metal feel, check this album out, because, you know, the masters, it's Mayhem. Do yourself a favour and check this album out. It is absolutely fantastic. And that's why it's number 18 on my list. Now, for some controversy. I was looking for my list and this made it on, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell? This genre made it onto my list? What's going on? Now, usually in past years, prior years, I would not have this genre on my list. I would not have this band on my list. But, you know, people grow. They listen to more music, they open their minds. And that's what I did. And I started listening to more core music. And I listened to Whitechapel and the album The Valley. This opened my mind. This probably was like a gateway to core for me, because not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan. I love black, I love doom, I love metal as a whole. Thrash, cool, death, yeah, all that shit. Doom, awesome. Core was never a big thing for me. I didn't really like it until now. This opened the gateway, and then I started listening to like Carnifex and shitloads of other bands. This album is fantastic. I prefer it to Dream Theater and Slipknot. I do. The songs on it are super melodic. His vocals, I absolutely adore. I love his cleans. Like, don't get me wrong, the demon growling parts when he's singing it is super cool, but the clean parts intertwined with it, out of this world. That's what makes me love this album. His cleans are so soothing. So soothing. I love it. Especially in the song Hickory Creek. That's a cool, it's kind of ballady for a cool song, but I don't care, I love it. And when a demon defiles a witch, when I heard that on YouTube, I was like, mind blown, mind opened. I now like core music, as well as every other genre, and that's good. You know, getting more people into stuff, that's what we want. We want more music to listen to, which is the whole point of this channel, and I think most people's channels, and music as a whole. More music is always good, and this is no exception. This album brought me into a whole different world. So this is where it's going to go on my list. Number 17, I love it. The Valley by Whitechapel. Number 16 is going to shock everyone as well. It's my favourite band of all time. It's Opeth with Encada Venenum. I love the fact they had 2 different releases for this. One in English and one in Swedish. Just because you get more bang for your buck. If you don't like one of the songs on one of the versions, try the other one out, and it might tickle your fancy. Because there are some that I prefer on the Swedish one and some I prefer on the English one. It is amazing, and then one day I might want to pop on the English one, and one day I might want to pop on the Swedish one. It's good to have that variety. But let's talk about the album. It is a very experimental album. It's kind of like the newer Opeth style, so you know, it's prog rock-ish compared to metal, but there's some nice solos, some nice bass, some nice guitar parts, and amazing vocals by Mikkel. Amazing vocals. There's no bad song on it. There's no bad song on it. It's just, the reason it's not like number 1 or even in the top 10 is just, it's not, you know, I don't think it's as good as a lot of the Opeth of old. You know, I know they've changed and whatever, but I really love Pale Communion. I really love Pale Communion. I think this is almost as good as that. I don't think it quite gets there. It doesn't quite get there, but it is still an amazing and interesting listen. And each time I listen to it, there's something more I pick up. And that's what Opeth is good at, engaging the listener. And this album is super engaging. There's so much to delve into. There's a song on it which is super jazzy and bluesy. Like, properly, all throughout it's proper jazz. I love it. It's my favourite album. If you've seen my song ranking on the album, it's my favourite song on the album. I love it. And there's like weird parts, talking parts you wouldn't expect in a metal album, because it is, you know, it's prog. So it's going to have those weird parts. And Opeth do it so well, it doesn't become tiring or boring. It's super interesting. It's just, I prefer Blackwater Park and Still Life and stuff. But, you know, amazing album nonetheless, which is why it's making it onto my list. Now on to number 15, we have the band Sun, or Sun-O / whatever you want to call it. They are drone metal, which is a kind of doom metal, but even slower and kind of fuzzier. That's the best way I could describe it. But this band is absolutely fantastic. They have so many albums, and they've released 2 albums this year, actually. But I prefer live metal, just because the songs sound a bit more coherent, in my opinion. And this band, if you like just albums to drift you away, if you like just sitting down, listening, putting an album on, and just being transported to another realm, this band is for you. Because it has that kind of soundscape in the background, which just drifts you off. And that's what this album is about, live metal. Even the album cover is super, like, trippy. You just want to fall asleep, basically. In a good way, not in a boring way. The songs, there's only a couple of them, but they're absolutely phenomenal. These guys are super fucking ingenious. I love every part of this album for how, like, monotonous it kind of sounds to an outsider. There's never a dull moment, in my opinion. There's never a dull moment. I enjoy every piece of music in this entire album, but it is niche. It is very niche, so a lot of people watching might not like it. It is super slow, slower than Doom, slower than Funeral Doom, and super, like, crackly as well. But I'd say give it a try. Always give it a try. Give new music a try. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. You know, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to say, oh, I'm not going to listen to that band again. So what? Who cares? Give it a try, and hopefully you enjoy it. So yes, Sun-O, live metal. Number 15. Number 14, Gar's Weird, Ghost Invited. Now this is from Gar, from Gorgoroth, a legend in the metal community, and this album is such an experimental album. I love it. It's so weird and experimental. It's like folky black metal. I love folk, I love black metal, mix them together. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love all the weird arrangements in it. I love the dynamic vocals in it. The chanting, the weird instruments they use, his singing is top-notch, just everything is super creepy, tribal, and animalistic, and that's what I love about this album. Came out of left field, did not expect it, didn't even know this was a thing until it fucking dropped, and then I was like, what the hell? An album from Garl? This is going to be interesting. Listen to it, and I was like, this is nothing like I've ever heard. Nothing like I've ever heard, super experimental, and if you just love folk and black, I'd suggest checking this album out because it does pique your interest and it keeps it there. If you love Gorgoroth, you should check it out. If you love black metal, you should check it out. If you love folk metal, you should check it out. Very cool album, which is why it's making it as number 14 on my list. Number 13, we have Infant and Annihilator with the Battle of Yaldabaoth. Stupid fucking name. I love it. Stupid fucking band. I love them. Stupid fucking album. I love it. Every song is ridiculous. Every song is ridiculous. The guitar, the drums, the singing, just everything is just stupid. Just every piece of music on this album is there to just make you smile. This whole album makes you smile. From the song names to the absurdity of the instrumentation, the musicality of everything is just off the walls mental. The screaming from low gargles to the high shrieks, all within one song, and then the breakdowns, and then the solos, and there's the just, you have to listen to this album just to know what I'm talking about. Because if you've never heard of them before, the name Infant Annihilator, you should know what to expect. Ridiculous lyrics, ridiculous songs, and a super good fun time. I love it. I love it. Every song brings a smile to my face. It's not for everyone. Like a couple of the bands I mentioned, this is not for everyone. But you should definitely check them out. There's probably loads of reactions for them. I got a reaction for one of the songs, Soul is Stillborn, on my channel, and there's, like Hefner and Jamie Horsley and loads of other big name YouTubers. They will probably have reacted to Infinite Annihilator, like Vinensori and stuff, because they are controversial. Super controversial, but the music's fun. And I really adore this album, which is why it's making it onto my list. Number 12, Insomnia, Heart Like a Grave. Such a good album. It's a shame I didn't actually review it. I really wanted to review this album. It's super melodic. The melodies that these guys create can last a generation. They do not do anything bad. Insomnia cannot do anything wrong. And this shows that. This album is pure magic from start to finish. Pure magic. I really want to see them live. It's melodic death metal at its fucking finest. At its finest. Be hard pressed to find another melodic death metal band at the moment quite as good. Aside from, of course, Other Gates. But they didn't release an album this year, so I can't talk about them. But Insomnia, phenomenal album. Heart Like a Grave. Check it out if you haven't. If you love death metal, if you love melodies, you love metal in general, check out Heart Like a Grave, because it is an amazing album. And that's why it's made it onto my list. Now, the last band I'm going to talk about, number 11, before we change videos and you have to wait for the next 10. Number 11 is MGLA. And I can't remember how you pronounce it. Is it Mugwa? So, again, I'm not good at pronouncing. I'm English, We'll talk like this. But MGLA, Age of Excuse, fucking awesome black metal album. Again, this is another band that can't do any wrong. All the releases have been fantastic. Exercises in Futility. Such a good album that one is. And this is almost as good. And that in itself pumps it to number 11 because the black metal melodies in it, his vocals, how catchy everything is, even though it's still dark. It's still dark, still black metal, but it's somehow super catchy black metal without crossing the boundary into cheesy and without crossing the boundary into melodic death. So, yeah, melodic black metal with engaging vocals, super catchy riffs, super catchy drum melodies and vocal parts. It's a good entry-level band for people getting into black metal. I'd say they are probably one of the best entry-level bands. And you should definitely check it out if you want to get more into that scene. Because these guys, they deliver. They deliver, and sure, it's not quite, as raw as Mayhem or Darkthrone or anything like that, but they just do something which just catches my attention, and I think it catches a lot of people's attention because this album has been getting good reviews, and I'm glad because this album is absolutely amazing, and you should check it out, and that's why it's number 11 on my list. So that was my 20 to 11 albums of 2019. Now we'll be back again with albums from 10 to 1, and this is super fun. I love doing this. I love talking about albums and ranking them with everyone. So hopefully you had a good time. Let me know in the comments below your favourites as well. And what do you think I'm going to have as number 1? Try and guess in the comments below what you think I'm going to have as number 1, because I'm going to guess that you're all going to be wrong. I mean, I've already had Opeth and Dream Theater. They're knocked out. So what's it going to be? What's it going to be? So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.